and it was sold for 100 grand worth of Hedron. That's over $100,000 of profit in just one bid. So opportunities are there. People are just scared to experiment with things that are not like they're not totally familiar with. But this is natural. This is the natural order of things when you are in the beginning stages of a developing ecosystem. Eventually, people will come in and they will hear about these legendary deals, and they're going to get curious, and so on and so on.
I think also like arbing the price of hex will get popular. If there's any way like to arb, like just even through like different dexes and exchanges, those things got very, very popular. Um, this is like I arbed the price of Icosa and hex once. Like I'll be real, like this was at the like when we were at like $1 or something, and no one really knew what was going on, and I was able to figure it out very easily. And I was like, oh, this is easy. Buy $1,000 of hex, wrap it, sell it to the Icosa contract, have $1,025. It's just like, wow, that wasn't as crazy as everybody made it out to be. Very easy.
A quick note on what Hedron, or how you could actually look at Hedron. Um, it's a part of the T-share, which was initially an addition, and it kind of still is an addition. But now that we have the auctions live and they're actually running, um, it shouldn't be considered an addition anymore. It should be an inseparable part of a T-share, because the only way that you can acquire Hedron naturally without buying it from the market is by having T-shares, and the only way that you can access those T-shares is through Hedron. You want to access more T-shares, you need Hedron. It doesn't matter if you have Bitcoin. If you have 5,000 Bitcoins, you still won't be able to buy a T-share if you don't have Hedron. So you must buy Hedron at some sort of in some sort of way. You must acquire it in order to participate and access a previously locked T-share rate, which is not available anymore. So now, with the system going forward, Hedron is the access to T-shares, and it can only be acquired through T-shares, and it is not a separable part. It's not something that you should separate from each other, because again, how do you calculate the value proposition of acquiring a $200,000 worth stake for $100,000? What is the value of Hedron in that scenario?
One thing that I've been thinking about, Kismet, man, this guy, watch out for him, man. Watch out for him. He's got the good shit. But like you run into this weird dynamic with how shares work and how Hedron is paid based on the shares and the number of days served. So if you want the max amount of T shares, you need for the longest time, we all know it's a Quattro Cinco. Like that's the way that you get the most amount of Hedron and the most amount of shares over the length of that stake. But remember, so if you have 10 shares, that means you're going to get about was that 51 or 60 million Hedron over the life of that stake. Well, remember, that's 60 million divided by 5,555 days. But on the other side, you have like, oh, I want like say you do it that same stake and it was 2 T shares. Well, you're going to get paid 10 million or 11 million over like a 1 year stake. So you will get higher amounts of Hedron on a daily basis, but it's over the long period. And remember, like after like a share expires or somebody ends stake, we have a share rate ratchet and all of this stuff. It gets even fucking harder to try and at a certain point after everybody EESs all their shit, dude, your shares at the end start really just becoming valuable because the the faucet of Hedron just keeps getting smaller and smaller. But like the length of time, number of shares, and the like, The Hedron total divided by the number of days. There's a lot of math with a lot of this stuff. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Just one more. I think we need another good cleansing. Get some of the guys who just want to sell and run away as soon as they see a green candle in the hack staking ecosystem. Whew, some of the shares that you guys bought from wherever you bought, even at the 50 cent mark till now, as long as you staked it, you were good. Man, those things are going to be really powerful. We just have to wait for them to break their stakes. Remember, like if you made a 15-year stake day one, all right, and let's say you're a dude with 10 million hex, all right, and you did a 15-year stake. At the 7.5 year mark, you can get your principal back. Now, even me, I have fallen victim to this. It's just like, dude, I just need the hex or whatever, and I need the cash. They'll break that stake for the 10 million hex and sell for $10 million. They will. They will.
Bro, that's what ladders are for. I mean, if you have a 10 mil hex, you will ladder stake it. It makes more sense.
Well, things making sense and just being fucking obvious, like, don't always work with the average person. I mean, I set up a ladder. I'm very happy. But like everybody else, like they kind of or they don't like one thing is you see a lot of people who like will put their entire stack for like a 1 or 2 year stake. I think that's silly. I think you should do at least a little bit into a 15 year. Especially now that we know the mechanics of the share system with Hedron and everything, it's even more justified just to put in like 5-10% into a 15-year stake. And then, you know, but like having a big stake is going to be very valuable. It's a business, dude. And it's like that business will cost more hex in the future.
Yeah, you can even have one long stake and one rolling stake, which you restake every 60 days, and you can shave off some profits there.
I think this system's rigged, bro. It's rigged for the stakers, baby. Yeah. Woo! Yield. Woo! Oh, magic money machine, please give me my money for the day. Thank you. Yes. All hail the magic money machine. What if we start degrading and then everybody like starts like churches around hex and stuff and it's about the joining of the daily yield payout machine? It'd probably make more sense than some of the other religions, to be real.
True, but we could do things that make even more sense. For example, building a community or whatever people are talking about Hexico since a long time.
Yeah, I think people are going to continue to be stupid and silly. Sorry, I saw Idiocracy. Yeah, like, yeah, I saw it the other day. Like, somebody tried fitting my truck into their shop, and I was looking. I'm like, "There's no way that's going in there." And the dude's like, "No, it'll fit. It'll fucking fit." He almost fucking crashed my truck. No troll. Like, it's like, dude, come, like, there's just some things that it's just like, dude, you can't fit it in there. Like, why are you even trying? Is it worth wrecking your building and my truck? Like, no, it doesn't even make fucking sense, but they do it anyway. Oh, poor Mark Cuban. Asking questions and then he's not going to listen to Richard Hart. Sad, sad, sad. Imagine telling everybody you knew to put your money in Voyager. Oh, sad, sad, sad. God, that Maxim broadcast with his thick head of hair, that guy right there, he's going to do us good. He's one of the good ones, I think. You guys should follow him on Twitter and YouTube. Oh, 53 and a half cents, boys. Woo! Green candles. Woo!
What a savage, dude. But yeah, keep in mind that price going up, it's going to bait more and more people into burning their Watsas, which is good. It's going to be not so good very short term because it's going to look like, oh, well, why are they burning it? Because Icosa price is going up. Okay, so they burn it and they exit because they deem that the price is close enough to the ceiling. So they want to exit the game. Yeah, short term, it's not so good because the price is going down, but that creates an opportunity for other people to come in and buy lower, and it reduces the pool for other Watson holders. So you need this rinse and repeat system to occur over and over again until you remove the majority of the people who are the most impatient. Yeah, the Watson pool is a very special place, I will just say. And if you're in a situation,
I didn't get mine yet.
If you're in a situation where you have not acquired anything at all, like not even one little Watson, my advice would be like try to look for one on OpenSea or something, but make sure that it's the right one because there are fakes out there. So, but yeah, buying a Watson, I think it's an important part of the Icosa game.
I know you're mad at me about like the one thing earlier, but like, and you know I'm in the market for that one Watson there, and you know that I'm like a week away from getting my money in. You're a bitch. Don't tell them. Don't buy Watsas. Watsas are garbage. It's NFTs. Do you really want to tell your mom you invested money in NFTs? God, terrible. But just to let you know, if I get one with a monkey on it, I'm flexing that one, motherfuckers. Like, I'm flexing.
Yeah, the reason why it's just for people who are not so familiar with the system should definitely become familiar with it and understand that this is not just it's not just something that was created out of thin air and just some sort of like gimmick that just like you invest in it and then it pays you yield. It's a much deeper game. And I would say that it's important to keep in mind that you only need one or two or three, okay, let's just say four winners. You don't need more than four winners, and you have them in this ecosystem. You don't have to look that far out. And remember that the more you split yourself out, the more you dilute your holding. I mean, the more you dilute your stack into different projects, the worse it is when you already have the winners staring at your face right here. This is the real deal. The majority of everything that was created in this system was based around the T-share, and the T-share has already proven itself from the inception of Hex.
I didn't even think about this. You bring that up. So it's very common, and especially like Hex recently, you see people going and they're like, oh my God, there's a new NFT project. Oh my God, there's a new ICO. Oh my God, I gotta throw my fucking money in. If you're playing the game, bro, and you know that the ICO is here, you start seeing some dips, people investing into this new ICO because it's shiny and new. and you start seeing those dips and stuff, like, dude, like they might think, oh, I'm gonna come in and buy this ICO, I'm gonna 100x and then come back in, bro. Like everyone's watching you exit. Like they're building ammo. They're going to use their Hedron and they're going to buy your coins up. I don't know, man. I'm a one trick gamer. Like there's a game I play and I stick to it. And like I'm not playing in all these other fucking bullshit things. I hope like Famous is awesome. I hope Pulse Pay isn't a scam. I hope all these things. I don't trust people. I think Famous is cool though. Like I don't know. I didn't put money in. If you put money in, good for you. If you make a ton of money, if not, like you should have just bought the good stuff and staked your coins.
What's going on, boys? Mike, looks
Stop
like I owe
it!
you. Hey, looks like I owe you a bit of money there, big guy.
No, not. Oh wait, it's not. Wait, is it the 6th?
Yeah, it's close enough. Pretty sure I lost this one, but how's everybody doing today? How are we doing? I came for my free money machine takeover.
Fuck yeah, dude! Gather around the magic money machine and drink the Kool-Aid with everybody. Hell yeah! Let's see here, where are we at? We were at 2.2 cent hex. All right, 141 Hedron 20%, and the Icosa's at 53. That's interesting. All that beautiful, beautiful yield. You know, like part of me is like, I kind of want that to be the bottom, but like I kind of don't. I don't know how I feel about it. Like I'm like happy either way. But like you think about like, oh, you bought and staked through the dip. It's like, oh, bro, your yield is just worth so much. Oh my god. It's so fucking beautiful. Like some of you guys, like I don't think you see the same thing I see, bro. Like over time, you're probably gonna receive less Icosa, like Kismet said. It's very likely. But like, dude, it's just like, dude, if you're if you're earning a couple Icosa a day, and each Icosa is like 10, $20, bro, like you're gonna like it's nice to have. Like even if it drops and goes 20 cents, it's still a nice little bit of fucking cash. That's what this shit's for. DCA, stake your shit. Chill. If you want to sell your coins, go do it. But remember, there's always a motherfucker right there looking to buy that dip. It hasn't started happening yet. But just wait, boys. Ha! Wait. I've done the game theory in my head 100 times. The next 6 months are going to be nuts. The next 6 months are going to be nuts. I'm not saying like we're going to the ceiling or anything. I'm talking about the interactions of the network with all the staking and the EESs and all these things, burns of Watsas. Like you can't tell me that you guys almost shit yourself the other day when you saw that 120 billion Watsa get burnt. Like I was like, oh my Jesus! Like my fucking pool percentage went up. Like what was this? Like we're going to see I remember Richard talking about the addiction of the game at one point. This was a long time ago. Like, and he's going like, you're like, he meant for Hex. Like, you're watching and be like, what's this person going to do? Are they going to end stake? Are they going to, do this? And it's really like interesting. That's why like Hex Alerts has done so well. And like let's take this to Icosa. This is on a super fast scale. Like Hex is on a 15-year scale, like forever, but the max stake being 15 years. Well, bro, like this is on a smaller time span with 1-year stakes. You're going to start seeing faster actions in this game, and it's really fast paced.
So somebody dropped 40 grand on Icosa, which pumped it to 40 cents from whatever 25. which caused that whale to burn all those watsas at 40 cents and then cash out, which dropped it back down to 36 cents or whatever, when he could have just waited a fucking day or two extra and maybe had it at 50 cents like right now. That guy burned all those at a loss for sure. But hey, good for us.
People make irrational emotional decisions all the time, guys. That's it's so interesting watching these guys do these stupid things. But like, dude, this is just human nature. Um, let's see how many more we can get burnt. Let's see. What if they stop burning? What if they stop burning? You know, like I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's in store for us. It's so interesting, bro. Like when we start seeing these explosions of the EES button and stuff, bro. Oh, it's going to be fucking glorious. All of us are going to be in here being like, yield, yield. I love the yield. This is the best time to be alive, boys. We're going to look back and we're going to be like, do you remember listening to that fucking like crazy dude with the fucking sex doll in the background on his that and all the cocaine on the table? Yeah, yeah. Remember those times? Those were good times. That was written reference to Siggy's thing that he said that I looked like. If you didn't see the meme, it's fucking hilarious. Actually, Trip posted it in chat. Yeah, yeah. Look, everybody go check out chat and go look at Solix. It was Lots of God Mike versus Solix. Fucking hilarious. Trip is like, dude, he's so funny. I'll shut up. I'm going to start eating. Somebody else can talk.
I don't know why, but I picture Mike. I just picture you, and Jawa, and Alex, and even Hexecutioner. Like when I hear your voices, I don't know why, but I picture you all look the same. You look very similar in my head.
Well, like I
Just
didn't think
big
when I hear
guys with
execute.
beards. Big guys with like dark colored beards.
Actually, not half wrong. Like I definitely have a receding hairline. What's going on?
This is the music he listens to every 4 o'clock. Every Yield Takeover, he listens to this on.
It's the Watso Monkey Hour.
Lol. No, dude, this is the snort Icosa up your nose yield party, baby. Woo! Yield, everybody. Woo!
Did it take over yet?
I'm going right into my laptop now.
Nope, not yet. The burn should have been bigger than they were because not enough people are paying attention that had a stack to bid with. But it's still decent. I think the yield today is better than yesterday.
I didn't refresh this one. Did it take over?
I also like the idea that the Icosa pool gets both Hedron and Icosa. And so by the end of the Icosa stake, you have a chance to go into the HSI market. And if you want to create a bigger Icosa stake for the future, you can use the accumulated Hedron to bid for a stake. and increase your Icosa stack, which is pretty cool if you can find a deal that way. Or you can also just sell the Hedron and then buy more Icosa on the market, depending on what the situation demands.
All right. It ticked over. I didn't keep track of my Hedron for this one, but I went from it was it was 0.5 Icosa per 100, a half percentage in a day. That's it. How am I supposed to feed my dog? I need 1% a day. I need BitConnect kind of numbers, man. What's going on here? 0.5% in a day. Jesus. That's good though. Hmm.
Is that half
It-
a percent like in your Icosa pool? Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah, I was
Is it-
in the Icosa pool. Half
Okay.
percent just in terms of Icosa, not including the Hedron. A lot of the Hedron's really low right now. We're not seeing insane recycling right now, which is probably why also the pool is getting very competitive.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe near February too, that might pick up more.
hmm.
I don't know. I'm just a dumb rep pleb. I don't fucking even know.
I don't know, dude. I think a lot of this is guesswork. There's some things that are easy plays, like just like in video games, like don't go out in the open and get shot in the head, idiot. But then there's like a lot of other things where it's very situational and it's a lot of guesswork. It's just how you react to the situation in front of you. But you just try to do the best you can with the information that you've been given. Like my dad said, I'd rather be lucky than be good. You know, one other interesting thing that that's always kind of caught my eye is the average NFT size for the Watsas. I think it was like 965 or 975 before or something. M points for an average size. It went down a little bit, I think. 959 now. So like, one big Watsa burn, like with a whole bunch of the big guys doing it or something, like what is the average going to be? Are all those ones always going to stay there? That's also one of those it's a stat that's accurate, but like it's accurate for today. What's it going to be in the future? Like if the biggest Watsa burnt, like what's an average size Watsa going to be? Does it bring down the average that hard? Because there were a lot of like penny and $1, $20 Watsas all across. So what is that average going to be brought down or up to? Probably down, but very interesting. 21,793 boys.
I wonder as well, like how many are part of someone's like ladder. Like how many people created staking ladders, and then as time will go on, they'll eventually burn more through their ladders, right?
Yeah, or maybe they're like people who like I saw some dudes who have like a whole bunch of 500 millions or 200 millions. They might just burn one a month every month for the next 5 years.
So one thing I should have maybe paid a little bit more attention to was the ladder strategy with the when it comes to Watsons, but I'm not complaining. So
I'll be real,
that's
man. You do
yeah.
you. I'm not going to give you financial advice, but if the concept of digital scarcity
Yeah.
is that powerful, number of buyers versus the number of assets that are available to be sold, you run into this. I don't want to say this, guys. I'll be real. There's a Watts I want to buy, and I can't. I don't have the money. So, but you run into this weird point where like everything's scarce in the system, and I think everything's good, but like, bro, there are like 60,000 people in the hex chat. There's 21,793 Watsas. Not every hexagon can own a Watsa. And like, remember, like, I know, like everybody's like, oh, Hedron and Icosa bad or whatever, but like, dude, it's like the hex logo is built into the Watsas, like, or the, you know, was it a hexahedron and everything, like it's built in. Like they're going to start realizing that, and they're going to FOMO buy the shit out of those. I wouldn't burn them, man. Like if somebody wants to go and do like their burning shit, go ahead, bro. Like I don't care. That's good for me. But like, dude, I think in the future you're just gonna be able to sell those for such a premium over the yield, and the yield's already going to be insane. Um, I don't think you should burn any, man. And I think just be like I didn't mint. I'm retarded. I heard NFT project and I was I did my normal. I'm going to turn away now. But like, if you minted, I think you win. But I wouldn't burn. Do you though? Like it might be the better play, but there's a reason for Watsas to always kind of sell at a premium. I mean, look, it's already one of the highest traded NFTs over since its launch on like OpenSea. You know, they just had an article the other day saying like all NFTs are dying and stuff. Like the NFT market's dying. Like the Watsas have really done well. Let me see.
Yeah,
280.
I agree. I think that laddering out of something like a Watts is if I should say it nicely, a suboptimal move. You have access to a pool that can never be accessed again, and then the speculative value of something that is part of a
what's causing that Icosa kind of like increase? Is it the people that have like sold the free yield sold and it's going up, or
it's called the Watsa God FOMO effect. I'm just kidding. But like, dude, just people are buying and staking. February auctions are less than a month away.
Yeah, I actually do believe your theory. The Watsa God Pumpamental.
And like, don't underestimate like so this is this weird fact. Like, I'm not a normal person. I know, fucking shocker. I know none of you believe it. But like, sometimes you have to think like a normie to know what a normie's gonna want. And like, I actually had one of my employees or one of my workers, his brother and his buddy like went and they bought a Bored Ape or whatever, and they pulled their money together to buy it. They're still in profit, which is cool or whatever. But like, now we're talking about yield. Like that NFT has core intrinsic, or I'm not sure if intrinsic, but it's worth actual money. And connecting that thought process of like, hey, dude, this 100 million point Watsa is worth $500 today or whatever, and like you connect the monetary value with the picture, and it makes you like it more.
Yeah, if I may just continue this point I was trying to make. Yeah, it's an exclusive club, and you have access to it. And over time, it's going to get more and more speculative, and the art hasn't been attached yet. So you don't know how things will look in the future. You don't even know what access that ticket, which is a Watsa in your hand, what access it can give you in the future, what people it can connect you with in the future, what can be built around this Watsa in the future. So laddering out of something, especially in the early phase, is probably better ways of doing things, I would say.
Not to
This is
mention the
one
fact. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that this is one for the ages, one for the time. Like you should take profit at some point when you deem necessary, but laddering out into the blind is just not so good.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact as well that maybe in a few years down the road, out of all three pools, the only one with decent yield at that point would be the Watson pool. And guess what that does to the value of all these NFTs even more? Makes it that much more desirable, guys. Not to mention, I'm absolutely stuck on the name. And I really do think there's something to that. Like Kismet was just saying, 10 years down the line, the ticket you hold, we are all the SA, because at that point the people, we're going to be such an exclusive club, and it's going to be, we will be the SA in that sense.
Yeah, nowadays you see NFT projects that if you own an NFT, you get access to a specific event. And that access can give you an opportunity to network with people who are, just interesting people. Who knows what a conversation can lead to? But you wouldn't be able to access that event if you didn't have this ticket. So maybe you're going to see something similar with WhatsApp, some communities being built, some interesting people, having conversations, and you have an opportunity to speak with them because you were part of this thing. So it's good for speculation like that. I want to say one more thing. When it comes to the Icosa Hedron system being a very complementary part to Hex, and I see a lot of people, they fail to realize this. It's not only built on an intrinsic part of what Hex is, but it actually creates, and we've been discussing it with my boy Fish down there, but it creates an open door for people to come into the Hex ecosystem. And how does it do that? You have the people who are interested in finances, who maybe couldn't care less about art, NFTs, and all these things. There's a door out there in the front, and the first thing that you come in contact with when you enter that door is the staking for 15 years or less, whatever you want, but interest and earning. Okay, so that is that part. That is the front door. But now Icosa Hedron introduces a different aspect, especially Icosa, because of the WhatsApp. We created another door. And through this door, people who will see these pictures on OpenSea, they're going to be introduced to the Hex ecosystem from another place. So the people who come in from the front door, they learn about the Hex and the T-share there. But the people who come in from the Icosa door, they come in through the NFTs, and then they start learning about Icosa, and then they start learning about Hedron, and then they start learning about the T-share, because you can't have you can't have Hedron and Icosa without the T-share. So again, like, you have different types of people, demographics coming into the same system, because it has so many different things to offer. And that is very valuable. It is one of the main ingredients for exponential growth for the future, is to have different demographics being interested in things that are linked to the same thing.
And the other way around too, right, Kismet? Because people will get into Hex and they'll say, oh, I got this new Hedron. What's this all about? And then they learn about Hedron. Then they learn about Icosa, which leads them to Watts's, and it's just a revolving door.
Yes, exactly. So the ones who come in from the front, they learned from the T-share and backwards. From the T-share and forward all the way up to the Icosa protocol. Those that come in from the back door, they learn from the Icosa protocol all the way backwards toward the T-share. It's beautiful like that.
Yep. The ones I was looking at are gone. Yep. Yep. Be careful what you say in fucking Telegram chat. Everybody's here. There are millionaires. Some of you fucks are billionaires and you're not willing to fucking say anything because you're smart, because you're playing the game. Some of you guys have a lot of money, and then we say, hey, go by the way, Watts's fucking god tier. Hey, there's a whole bunch for sale, and then boom, gone. Gone, motherfucker. And then the guy who bought one of them relisted it. Smart. Very smart. Because someone will probably pay it.
To be fair, you were the guy who mentioned that you wanted to buy the WhatsApp first.
Well, like, dude, you just talking about in this kind of group, like, bro, people know. And they were too good of deals, dude. They were basically mint price. Dude, they were only going to stay on there so long.
Yeah. I think I was looking at the same one you're talking about. Was that for about $1,000. It was like 1.1 from its mint.
Yeah, I think there was one of those, but I was watching the 2 and the 1.89 one. I think most of them are all gone, but there's the opportunity. Like literally, like they had 1.5 Icosa in them, and I think when you do the math, like dude, like they were only like, so if it was $2,000 in yield, or I'm sorry, if it was a $2,000 Watsa, it had $1,500 in yield in it.
I happily paid about $3 to $4 per endpoint. Happily. Half of my Watsas are those.
You can still buy, like dude, like
Well, I'm working on it.
you're just waiting for the pop off. Who knows when those things just go extinct? Those things are going to go extinct. I see a future where Watsas rarely even fucking come onto the market. Why? Because there's only 20,000 of them. If there's like, have you ever seen like Magic the Gathering card people? Dude, like, like whenever a Black Lotus, which is the premium rare card of the original set, I don't do it, but I watch videos on it. Like, dude, it's like people will get very excited when one goes on the market and stuff. There's a lot more Black Lotuses out there than there are Watsas. I think. I have to double check that fact. I find it funny. Some of the greatest things that are being invented in the entire world. Everything's happening right here. We have Watsas and we have Icosa and all this stuff. And then you have like Toby Hexanobi, like not mentioning like in his memes, like, oh, it's just happens to not include Watsas. It just happens to not include Icosa, but it includes everything else. I don't trust anybody. Some people are playing the game and they're playing it dirty, maybe.
Why are they not including Hedron in the conference next week?
It's either because they're playing the game and they're playing dirty, or Maddie's retarded. I'm not sure. I met him and I don't think he's evil, but like I saw his app idea for Hex and it was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. And a lot of people hated it, so there's a chance he's just stupid. I hope he's stupid. I don't think Maddie's an evil guy.
But it's one whole topic. It's one whole huge topic in Hex that's not at the conference. Like it's locked up a lot of Hex for 15 years. Like, why don't they talk about it? Like it's instead of all the stupid other stuff that they've got.
Because
Hedron should have been like the key speaker type thing.
Because the game, bro. Like you don't like. I'm telling you guys like it's the game, bro. Like everybody's trying to throw you off the path. Everybody. Do you know why? Do you know why everyone's trying to throw you off the path? It's because the Icosa pool and like Watsas and Hedron, it's so fucking legendary. It's going to change everything in the world. And like the people who know about it, they don't want everybody to know. Or they're stupid. One of the two. I can't make a decision anymore.
Well, in the Matty Allen situation there, it's his own product and his whole character, right? His whole freaking spiel is challenged by being able to move your stakes around and access liquidity early. He doesn't like that. It challenges his whole thing and his wallet and his project, so it's just insecurity at that point.
How much hex did how many hex did we lock up through HSIs? Is it like 700 million or something? Do you have that number, Hamish?
Don't, yeah, offhand.
I'd say that's a decent amount.
Multiple
to at least give a shout
millions of
out.
dollars worth. Right? That'd be like multiple millions of dollars worth.
hmm
Yeah.
For 15
no.
years, man. The
no,
majority
you
of the
can't come-
stakes are
yeah.
15 years. I think the average was like 13 or 14 years of hex locked in HSI stakes.
Yeah, I think Alex is like fucking Richard Hart protege. Like, why
Dude,
is
Alex carried RH hard. Because can you imagine this entire ecosystem waiting for Pulse Chain without Hedron, without Icosa, without any of the work that Alex has put in? It would have been a ghost town, dude. Nobody would be here.
Facts. Oh.
so? He's not speaking at the conference then, no, or I thought Maddie tweeted yesterday something about him being part of it.
Yeah, he's gonna be there.
Yeah. Okay. Right on.
I'm telling you guys, there are bad actors everywhere, and to distract you from the greatest financial product. That I don't, dude. This is like, I get very excited, but like, it's very weird how like special all this shit is, and just like all the Hexagons are ignoring us. Like, vampire attacks are a thing. I do understand that, but it's like, this is the most pro hex thing I've ever seen. It's just like, are they playing the game? Are they trying to mislead you? Like, people in games all the time will try to shit talk you, be like, "Oh, you're actually a bot," and they try to emotionally get into your head.
No,
They try to distract you.
Mike. Yeah, they don't want to get unfollowed. And I know Jawa, you made the point that he hasn't unfollowed you yet, but maybe he just hasn't noticed. But the majority of people don't want to get unfollowed and sent to the desert because they're promoting something else besides from Hex.
Yeah, I mean, he probably just like instead of unfollowing, he probably just turned off any what's it, mute. You can just mute somebody so you don't see their stuff. He probably did that a long time ago when I started posting all my other stuff, right? So yeah, maybe, who knows.
The most important things are happening here, bro. Look at Icosa as a game. Look at it differently, and you're going to start seeing some stuff for the next 6 months, man. It's going to make you. You're going to have to make some hard decisions. I don't know what the answer is. Do you EES or do you just let it roll? I have no fucking clue, dude. I have no clue what's the fuck's going on. But you're going to start getting emotional. Every single one of you. You're going to start getting emotional over your stakes. And you're going to be like, fuck, man, look at that burn. We don't even like have a counter yet for like burning. Like Dev Huey. By the way, follow Dev Huey. I say it every like talk. Follow Dev Huey. That guy makes some amazing, amazing content for us. I feel like we're so blessed to have guys like him. But like he has a lot on his list, a lot on his plate. We don't even have like a counter right now. Could you guys imagine having a counter with like the amount of Hedron burnt? Like everyone's gonna be sitting there doing their math and their statistics and shit, being like, "Oh, dude, like you could start predicting what your payout's going to be before yield tick over." Like this is growing. This is doing good, man. Almost 50 people today. I think we got something special here, boys. And just wait till the other Hexicans figure it out. They'll fucking realize. They're like, if you're a Hexican, you're gonna like Icosa, and you're gonna you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. There's nothing else to fucking say. But they're all enjoying their hex gains, dumping their Hedron right now, breaking their stakes and stuff. Whatever. My goal is to not sell a single hex this next bull market. Let's see how I do with that. We'll see.
I got a quick hex question. I'm kind of new. I've had one of my stakes mature. I ended up selling that one. I needed to. The next one that's coming up, there was a button that said like good accounting. That just means like compound, right?
Good accounting is where it like freezes the stake. So like, let's say your stake finishes and you good
Yep.
account it. Well, now you don't suffer the penalties, and also because you're freezing the stake and it's like the coins aren't coming into existence, you can use that to delay like taxes and stuff,
Right.
depending on your country and all of your stuff. I'm not an accountant, but like that's one of the methods for people who use that. Like a lot of it's like delaying taxes, or maybe they're
Fuck that
waiting for like another stake to come out. Maybe they're baiting people. There's a lot of use cases of it.
Okay, so I just withdraw and then have to restake everything manually.
If you good account, it just sits there and then share rate moves against you and everything. So if you don't want to lose the share rate and stuff, like yeah, you should just claim it and then restake it. I think like if you good account a stake, like it pretty much pays for the gas of it, doesn't it? Like you have to pay like the end. It's like almost paying the end stake fee.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Dude, I swear that meme, it just hits different.
Wait, which one? The cocaine and the hookers one?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like I see a whole bunch of drug ones. I don't have a drug problem. Don't judge me. But like you have one like where people are like injecting yield into their arm, like, oh, it's so good. Like it's like nodding off like heroin. Never done heroin. Don't do drugs, kids. Just one or two more green candles. I'm telling you, my neighbor's gonna be knocking on my door. He's gonna be like, okay, I give. Tell me how to open up a fucking Coinbase account. Don't underestimate the power of FOMO, boys. Oh, almost 54 cents. Ah. Be ready for a dip. Guys, remember, like Icosa is not a normal cryptocurrency. There is nothing like Icosa, and if anybody tries to tell you otherwise, they're lying to you. Icosa is a giant monster with a gun as an arm, a sword, a shark head, fucking witch staff as a leg, like armor and bricks and just like a force field, and it's got a rocket launcher like other leg. Like this thing's like a crazy motherfucker. Very interesting to watch. The Icosa staking pool is very interesting. Watsa, obviously, Hedron, the Hedron pools. I give shit to Solix, but he is right. Don't underestimate the Hedron pool as the compounding probably through the Icosa pool and like happens. Um, and like we don't know if there's gonna be a mass exodus from the Hedron pool, and then it makes it more lucrative based on the amount of points that you have in the pool. Let's see what happens. Some of those, dude, I'm telling you, just wait for like I think it's going to start happening like within like by the next set of auctions. Like obviously the big auction days, like dude, there's always big burns, there's big payouts, and everybody's like, yeah, dude, yield, motherfucker, making 10% yield in a day, doing nothing but staking my coins. But like that's only one effect. That isn't the full thing. Like it, dude, the EES button, bro. Oh, it's gonna be so fucking cool to watch. I don't know like how it happens, or like is it like a 360-day staker who breaks first? Is it the 270s, or do we not even see people EES right now? Like that is possible, but like I I just see this giant explosion effect, and it starts affecting, like, if one class, like, a good portion, I think it's about like half or like a third or a quarter of like the coins staked in the Icosa pool are sharks. I think it's something like that. It's like a half to a quarter, or I'm sorry, a quarter to a half. If all of them start EESing, like, what happens to the whales? Does that incentivize the whales to do it? Like, everybody's actions kind of like bounce off of each other.
I wonder if we're gonna see a bunch of new buy stuff happening after that conference too. If that brings in more people.
You know what? Stay away, Maddie. Stay away. Like, if you're going to be that rude to Alex, like, I'm sorry. Like, I think he's doing, like, I think he's playing a part here. He's being rude, and then if he's not playing a part, bro, we don't need to be a part of it. He'll look like a fucking retard in front of everybody later. Hopefully, you know what, people will probably like forget, but like, the people who did claim their 10x multipliers, like, as soon as Maddie started saying don't claim your 10x multiplier, I instantly was like, oh, sounds like this is pretty important and pretty controversial. I better go look inside this. And like, I was like, oh, like, you check the chain, like, was it OA or was it God? I think it was Godwhale who claimed, and I was like, bro, if Godwhale's claiming, I'm claiming. Like, if dude, if Godwhale gets like fucked like by like claiming coins, like, I'll join you, Godwhale. And just like, he was so rude. It's okay. We don't need to be like, you know, you know, we're the cooler group anyway, dude. Like, who has 45 people in the chat right now? Oh, us. Oh, okay.
Yeah, out of all the Hexicans that like YouTube live stream or whatever, he's the one I just something about him I don't like, man. Like, I don't know if he's just like too much of a beta vibe from him. I don't know. You know what I mean? Something fucking creepy about him.
Like, like, he comes off a little rapey? Is that what you're saying?
Well, a little rapey, little no, I don't know. Just it seems real beta.
Don't forget that
Man,
Maddie
it's
was
all
one of the
about your
people that was shilling ETHW, and he talked about Dodeca before that guy rug pulled. What else? Oh yeah, and then of course everybody knows he was trashing Icosa.
I do think one of the themes, there's going to be a lot of themes of 2023 into 2024. But like, I think one of them is going to be like, never doubt Richard Hart. Never doubt Richard Hart, bro. If not, well, that's the first time I made money like following Richard Hart, so like, I'm cool.
I think missing out on buying the hex bottom because you're doubting RH for whatever reason, if you got fudded out by other people coming in and talking shit, if that affects you to a deep degree, just understand that not buying the hex bottom will affect you to a much, much deeper degree in the future. New highs will be met, but these lows that we're at right now, they will never be achieved again.
I don't know. Dude, as soon as everybody starts gawking like fucking seagulls, or put whatever, meme you want into there, and they all start saying one thing, I'm like, oh god, is this another case where everyone's acting fucking retarded? Stupidity is fucking so contagious. Oh man, this last bull market was fucking retarded, bro. Like, the crap. Like, I remember me and my buddy, we were enjoying, like, we were both staked, right? And we were just chilling. And we eventually got bored, and we were like shitcoin gambling. But we like had 1,000 hex, and we would like bet and be like, which one of these tokens is worse? And we would like make bets and stuff like that. Like, that's eventually what we got to. There's like Dink Doink, I think was one. I think it was like a Logan Paul coin. You had like, bro, one of my coins, like I made money on it. I made really good money. And then after I sold, they announced they're like, oh, by the way, our thing was basically shut down by the SEC because it wasn't sufficiently decentralized. And they're like, congratulations, this coin is now a DAO token. A DAO token. And it was like, dude, that was the farthest thing
Rocked.
from the pitch 3 years ago. Be careful out in the DeFi world, guys. Let me fucking tell you. Dude, I've made mistakes, bro. It's the worst thing ever. The one thing that I did mention, and it's just like I didn't understand the concept of like admin keys being that bad, and just like everyone in crypto like scamming everybody, and just like all those coins that I had staked on this other AMM, they're locked. They locked you out. You're not allowed to withdraw your funds to sell. That was one of the things in the admin keys that they had. They could freeze all the coins, and like it's just so fucking like crazy, bro. Like and like invest your money in the good stuff. I just think it makes it just so much easier. Like we don't have admin keys here. Look at the flow of this system, bro. Dude, like these big rich guys, they're already here, bro. We were in the chat right now, and somebody just bought like $5,000 of Watsas. And now that opportunity's gone, guys. Like those were mint price fucking Watsas. That was your second chance, and that was my second chance to get another one, and they're gone. But that is another reason why everybody should show up for yield time, because sometimes, you know, Watsa God Mike has foot and mouth syndrome and tells you what the good stuff might be. Maybe. Not financial advice. If you listen to me, you're actually like an idiot though. But Kismet, if you listen to Kismet, you're probably smart. He gives financial advice. Don't underestimate people's like ability to get competitive. You know why we have 50 people in here, guys? Because people are playing the game. People are playing the game, and they want to know how they can get an edge here. There's good information in these telegrams, man. I've made good money from being in the telegrams, and to show for yield time, bro. Even if you ain't there, just like fucking leave your shit on mute. Or like if you're working or whatever, just play it in the background.
The interesting part about Icosa and Hedron staking pools is it doesn't matter if you have $10 gajillion. The maximum that you're going to be locked for is a year. So you have this interesting thing going on where the majority of the inflation is actually going to happen rather fast. It will have a fast timeline between accumulating the yield and having the chance to dump it on the market. And that's interesting because in the majority of other projects, you need a lot of years. But in Icosa, it will happen fast. And when was the best, like when was the worst moment to sell any legitimate coin? When it inflated the most. And here we just accumulate. It's been said many times in this chat that you shouldn't think about like the dollar value attached to the Icosa. You can think about that if you're looking for an entry and trying to buy like dips. That's cool. But in general, even if it goes down to 5 cents, the main goal is just accumulating over and over and over again, creating a bigger and bigger bag and becoming a bigger player in the system. So accumulation is key here. And whichever strategy you deploy to acquire the most coins that you can, time will tell what the most successful thing will be. But as long as you're here now, I think the majority of people are going to be winners regardless. There's just going to be differences in, quantity between us, but all the people who will come in later, especially after all the inflation has been dispersed throughout the staker class, comparative to the next wave of people, everybody in here are going to be doing really good.
But if you pay attention and you watch all the actions of other people, maybe even showing up for yield takeover, you might be able to make a little move that gets you an extra, I don't know, 1% extra yield for the year. And that kind of game, bro, don't underestimate how far people will go to get that extra 1% benefit, or how much time people will put in. And let me tell you, start looking at this stuff. When you start seeing EESs, you start seeing yield takeovers, you see Watts's burning, the game is the game board is morphing as we play. It's kind of important to have your ear to the ground here. And the greatest thing I love about this game, in my opinion, I do think that everybody can win. You know, you could obviously lose, especially if you make really bad buys and bad sells. But like the small players, like if you're a small player like me and you don't have $1 million to play with, well, guess what? That's okay in this game. Just having money staked up and playing your cards better than everybody else, like you grow over time by putting in work. There is work with this system, and don't paying gas fees, doing the math, buying those coins, that's work. There's and you can grow in position. Even I remember one of my early things I said to Hexecutioner, I was like, I want to leave my Icosa staked up through the bull and the bear, because there's just such high benefit. You see some of these guys and they're picking up hex stakes, HSIs for good discounts. Down the road, they will probably, since native stakes, they're not liquid, they might sell into the Icosa pool. Remember, that's advanceable or a borrowable Hedron. And I'm leaving a stack in high or low. I don't care. I'm not going to get emotional and be like, this is the top, or this is the bottom, and trying to do regular trading stuff like they do with Bitcoin. Remember, this system, you actually have an easier time moving up the ladder by just not dumping your bags and being risky. You get rewarded for not trying to sell and dump the top, because we have share rates, we have staking, yield. Seems like benevolent figures, and they want the staker class to win. I keep saying, the ones who are this game is rigged. This game is fucking rigged for the staker class. And that's so important. Just sit on your fucking ass, stake your shit, and if you want to cash out, you are more than welcome to. But remember, there is somebody there who might be in this chat right now, and they're waiting to buy your yield. Some of you guys down the road, no joke, a lot of you guys here, you're going to see Icosa dip to $5, and you're going to be like, I hope it goes down to $4, because I want more stake points. This is the game, bro. And we're in the early stages. Do I think FOMOing in all today is the answer? No, but it could be. But I don't play that game. I think that this game is best played DCA. Stake your shit. And then once you build your ladder, go play with your yield and your minions as you please. I'm one of those guys who followed Richard Hart early, and I missed all of the beginning of Hex because I had got my house and I was trying to remodel it and I was doing all the work, and it was one of my regrets, and it's just I'm jealous of all the big Hexicans with their big stakes and stuff, but this is your way. Through the short game, you can advance your position in the long game, which is the Hex the Hex staking pool. This is the short fun game where everything starts to fucking happen in quick succession. And people are going to start realizing this. Look at this now, guys. We're bottom bear market. We're getting 50, 60 fucking people just learning. Like, we haven't seen shit yet. Just wait over the next few months. You're going to start, like, maybe you don't see the ESs because people don't know how to play the game. But just to let you know, that's good. That's actually, in a sense, better because they're not compounding. If you're compounding and other people aren't, what you are doing is you are stealing their yield. Not really stealing, but like, you're, in a sense, you are.
And if the Watts pool, for example, gets 80,000 Icosa every day, I think that's what it gets. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rough math, 1% of 80,000 is 800 Icosa. Just saying, there's only 5,000 people with Wattses. It's just one aspect of it, like Mike's saying.
Dude, all the good ones are gone now. Salty, we can stop. All the good ones are gone. I don't know what there might be good ones. If you guys do see a good one, I do think that, like, not financial advice, but like $1 to $2, you would be retarded not to buy it. $1 to $2 per million. After that, it does get a little more risky if we go down to 10-cent Icosa, but you bought a nice position in a pool that your position will increase no matter what for fucking nothing. All you have to do is buy that Watsa, sit on it. You don't even, and it compounds itself. And just to let you know, that wild card does have a play in the game. And not everybody here has, well, I assume a lot of you guys do, but like, not everybody has a wild card. You might see people just start burning to add to their Icosa stake for a huge payout day. Like, there's no artwork yet, so there is that gamble feature. You guys are going to look at your yield on the Wattses this next, I believe. This is what I believe, because of dollar cost for percentage of the pool. I think it was like 2 billion or whatever for 0.01 or whatever. It's like, that's $4,000 for a dolphin. Like $4,000 for a dolphin, and then just like, that's a good price, bro. You're going to see so much fucking yield in those things. And remember, we're low on recycling. There's not a lot of recycling happening right now. A lot of hexagons are coming in, and they're buying the hex stakes and holding them, which they are allowed to do. It doesn't matter. Do what you want. All buttons will be pressed. But eventually, they will be sending it back to the contract if they want to sell something. The borrowable Hedron is a fixed number based on the shares. The amount of Icosa that you can redeem for that hex stake every single day gets lower. So yeah, they got a hex stake today that's worth 10,000 Icosa. All right. But as the share rate moves up, it's going to go down to 9,000, 8,000, 6,000. And the number of Icosa that they can dump for that hex stake will be worth a lot less.
I actually did a thread on that today. If you had minted Icosa and staked it on day one versus today, you would get 25% less staking points roughly for doing that today.
Wait, really? Was it that much?
Yeah, because not only does the rate at which you can mint it through the HSI buyback decrease, but that also affects the staking points themselves.
Oh yeah, it is the double share rate. People don't get it. Like, the Icosa has a double share rate. It's 2 share rates. 2 dose. That means it's twice as strong as the regular share rate. People don't get it. Like, the Icosa has a double share rate. It's 2 share rates.
This is one of the brightest
2 dose.
communities I've ever been in, and some of the coolest, brightest group of guys and gals that I've been part of, and just happy to be part of it. Communities I've ever been in. Go ahead, Mike. Some of the coolest, brightest A group of guys.
Yeah,
and guys,
I
been
definitely
part of
think
the-
that this was one of the
fantastic to be part of it.
best decisions was to come into this
Go ahead, Mike. Some of the
community.
coolest, brightest-
And like the people in here, DJ, Hexecutioner, fucking Kismet, all Sloth, all you guys. If I didn't name you, no hate, but like, dude, there's some like fucking like Hamish, dude. Like he's sitting around doing his math every single day. We have Dev Huey. Like, this is a gnarly ass community, and to not get invited, it's just like it's fine. As a Hexakin myself, like I'm used to being the just complete outcast of crypto. Like, but like just to have it happen again is so ironic. Like Alex said, the dev, the actual dev who actually makes something cool, everybody's like, blah, 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 scam, blah. And then like as soon as there's something retarded, like with like gold, like a gold garbage bag. All right, you got a gold garbage bag. People, it's like, dude, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. It's like, dude, it's just a gold garbage can or garbage bag. Who cares? It's still a piece of trash. All right, you got a gold garbage bag. People, it's like, dude, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
What do you
It's
keep
like, dude,
saying?
it's just
Not
a gold
invited
garbage
about?
can
Like,
or gold
what are you
garbage bag.
talking
Who
about?
cares? It's still a piece of trash. Mint as many free coins as with a bot as you can. Common coin, like that's a trash bag. It's a gold colored trash bag. Like it's like mint as many free coins as like they that's the thing that everybody likes, and like it's retarded. It's a gold colored trash bag. Like it's like
It's about not getting invited
that's
to
the
the
thing that
Hex
everybody
conference
likes,
by Matthew
and
Allen.
like it's retarded. It's a gold
To
colored
follow
trash
on
bag.
your
Maddie's not going
question,
to invite Watts of God, Mike.
it's about
He'll
not
invite.
getting
He'll
invited
invite
to the Hex conference
Alex. He
by
won't
Matthew
invite
Allen.
Like it's
Mike.
retarded. It's a gold
To
colored
follow
trash
on
bag.
your
Is that what you're talking about? You were mad that you weren't invited?
It's about
He'll
not
invite. He'll
getting
invite.
invited. That Alex
Alex.
wasn't
He won't
invited.
invite Mike. But I thought they tweeted yesterday that he was. You were mad that you weren't invited?
Yeah, but not initially. Initially, wasn't
Oh,
invited.
okay, yeah. Well, hey, maybe not initially, but he's part of it, so that's positive.
Yeah, but not initially. Initially, wasn't
Oh,
invited.
okay, yeah. Well, hey, maybe not initially, but he's part of it. Yeah, no, I thought you were saying you were mad that you weren't personally invited, Mike. I was like,
Initially,
come on now, man.
Oh, no, I wasn't. Like, I wouldn't go. Dude, I'm not going anywhere during a bear market, bro. Like, I'll go somewhere like mid bull.
Come on now, man.
Oh, no, I wasn't. Like, I wouldn't go. Dude, I'm not going anywhere during a bear market, bro. Like, I'll go somewhere like mid bull.
Come on now, man.
Oh, no, I wasn't. Like, I wouldn't go. Kismet, you got any other facts that you want to give out? Like, I'll go somewhere like mid bull.
Come on now, man.
Oh, no, I wasn't. Like, I wouldn't go. Kismet, you got any other facts that you want to give out? Like, I'll go somewhere like mid bull. One day, we're gonna look back and just laugh. Be like, remember those days where everyone just called Hedron and Icosa a scam, and then everyone FOMO bought at $10? One day, we're gonna remember these times. And just laugh. Be like, remember those days where everyone just called Hedron and Icosa a scam, and then everyone FOMO bought at $10? One day, we're gonna remember these times. Icosa isn't designed to like be at ceiling price 100% of the time. Right? Like, in my opinion, like it's there's a lot of variables, but boy, I do think there's a world where it holds ceiling price for quite a while. And in my opinion, like it's there's a lot of variables. Boy, some of the implications with that. I do think there's very exciting, very exciting for quite a while. And in my opinion, like it's there's a lot of variables. Boy, some of the implications with that. I do think there's very exciting, very exciting for quite a while. And in my opinion, like it's there's a lot of variables. Boy, some of the implications with that. I do think there's very exciting, very exciting for quite a while. And in my opinion, like it's there's a lot of variables. Boy, some of the implications with that. I do think there's very exciting, very exciting for. Anybody else have to add? I'll shut up. Go ahead. Anybody else have to add? I'll shut up. Go ahead. Anybody else have to add? I'll shut up. Go ahead. So exciting. I see all these things. I'm just so pumped. I don't know how it happens. Dollar, like, do we keep going lower? So exciting. What happens? All these things. But like, I think it's gonna be very exciting, and it's just like strap in those fucking seatbelt boys. Like, do we keep going lower? Might be a bumpy
As
ride,
inflation,
but like, I think it's gonna be very
as inflation
exciting,
hits
and
the
it's just, like,
market,
strap in
it's
those,
almost
fucking
inevitable
seatbelt
that you
boys.
will see lower price points because you can't control what people are going to do with
Might
their
be a
yield.
bumpy ride, inflation,
But that creates another opportunity for people who are looking to come into the staking pool and earn the lucrative yield. So also remember that when Icosa price goes up, we need this rinse and repeat system to continuously work. Because Icosa price goes up, it's going to justify people burning their watsas. It's going to get them out of the game. They're going to sell. They're going to lower the Icosa price. It's going to increase the people who it's going to increase the percentage that the people will yield in the Watsa pool, and then it's going to create, because the lower Icosa price is going to create an incentive for people to step in and buy up the dip and stake, or yield in the Watsa pool. And then when that happens, you're going to have more and more options for people in the Watsa pool to come in and sell, burn their Watsas. And we have to have this happen over time, like throughout the entire year. And then eventually you're going to have stronger and stronger hands in there, and they will also burn eventually, but it's going to be less frequent. And since it's going to be a less frequent burn, you're going to have more time to stabilize the price over time. And they will also burn. This has to happen, and then you have people sitting on the sidelines who have HSI stakes who might not want to stake Icosa. They just want to have the price go up. They sell it, they exit, have USDC. And then you have the Hedron stakers who are going to possibly lower the price when their stakes are going to end. And so you have this game, opportunities that the people who have earned the yield, they have opportunities to restake or exit, or maybe buy Hedron or Hex, whatever they deem is the most effective strategy for them. But inflation is going to occur, and in Icosa you can predict when the majority of the inflation will hit the market, and you can make plays according to that. But it's important to understand that the price of Icosa has benefits of going up, and it has benefits of going down. So don't panic about these things. It's important to understand that the price of Icosa has benefits of going up, and it has benefits of going down.
One, it might be a little bit less.
So don't panic about these things.
And how you play it, you could increase or just stake longer. Like, it's all about the yield, baby. It's all about that sweet yield. The coins that you minted with your work, like your time, your gas fee, your time. My time has is worth a lot to me. Right? And if you're putting all this time into this, I think you'll be handsomely rewarded. And just wait, sell your coins if you want to, right? But remember, if you get squeezed out, I think you'll be handsomely rewarded. And just wait, sell your coins if you want to, right? But remember, if you get squeezed out, I think you'll be handsomely rewarded. And just wait, sell your coins if you want to, right?
Again, remember, selling the majority of your holdings during the most inflationary period is not always the smartest thing to do, especially when you know that by the end of the year, the seeded liquidity will run out, and you don't know what the price of Hex or Hedron will be. But if it will be higher, if Hedron price will be higher in contrast to the Hex price, for example, less amounts of Hedron will be justified to be burned to acquire the Hex stakes. And you're going to have a higher T-share rate by which you have to divide by. So in the future, you might not be getting the same amount of coins in terms of yield, but the coins that you will get can be worth more than they are currently, obviously. But so the reason why I'm saying this is just of coins in terms of yield. When you have accumulated yield and you decide to dump it, than they just understand that the thing that you're dumping can be worth a lot in the future. Is just of coins in terms of yield. When you have accumulated yield and you decide to dump it, worth more. Just understand that the thing that
Pretty
you're
soon,
dumping
dude, you're gonna
can be
see
worth a
like
lot in the
FUD
future.
campaigns trying to get the price of Icosa down to $10 so people can get entry points.
Just understand that
You're gonna see nasty FUD campaigns, bro. Just to let you guys know ahead of this game is like fucking cutthroat. I see it already. And we don't even have a ton of like players, bro. And let me tell you, just always, keep on the narrow, dude. Stake and chill. I think you'll do good. Make the best decisions that you can for yourself and for your situation. You're going to make some mistakes along the way. I think. I think all of us are. And so like, I recommend making a couple stakes, dude. A 6-month stake, 90-day stake, 180-day, 270. Like spread yourself out. Like these are minions, bro. And you might not want to upgrade your minion until the last day of the stake, or maybe you don't. And you need to have a couple minions that are like kind of like sacrifice minions. When I played Diablo, there was this mechanic where it's like you put in your dexterity, your health, and your mana, and then there was the other side of the category, which was all your skills and how many points you put into each skill. And the first time you play the game, your first character is just dog shit garbage. Dog shit garbage, bro. It's just fucking terrible. You don't know how to use your points correctly between the strength and dexterity, and then under the skill tree, you definitely fuck up somewhere. And those types of stats, like those are applied to your stakes. And so, like making one big giant stake, I think is like super dumb. I mean, it might be the play, it might be, but like, I think having a couple pawns, like the more pawns you have, like the better, because you can turn those into queens. You can upgrade those minions to that next level, and then you get like, and just think of like the amount of yield that they can suck up. Like I want a minion that's like a queen. I want 10 queens sucking up as much yield, taking from the 360-day stakers and the 270-day stakers and everybody else. I want all the stuff.
Was that
From the
like a hardcore
360-day
reference for
stakers
sure?
and the 270-day stakers and everybody else. But like you're gonna end stake one, like
Was that like
this
a
game
hardcore
promotes you
reference
to
for sure?
EES for the end game. But like, do you do it is the question. It's so hard to tell. This game promotes you to all of a sudden we could see just super high hex price and then a lower Hedron price. And now it's just like, well, what, or maybe higher Hedron price and lower Icosa price. We could see just you're going to have a lot of stakes, and it might keep you up at night, dude. And now it's just like, well, what, or maybe higher Hedron price and lower Icosa price.
That's why
You're going to have a lot of stakes.
like my
It
strategy I
might
was saying
keep you up
yesterday. I
at
don't know if
night.
you remember,
And now it's
where
just like,
I'm not going to be concerned too much on compounding. I just want to be ready to end stake when without getting penalized. But that's just
that
me.
might be the play.
I'm
I don't
not going to be
know.
concerned too much on compounding. I just want to be ready to
If
end stake
do
when
it, everybody
without
can
getting
win,
penalized.
right? Everybody can
But that's
win.
just me.
And it's just like if you're trying to squeeze that extra percent out, do you try to do it, but you reset your time and stuff? Like, if that's what works for you, I just say do what works for you. Unless you're doing something really dumb. Like, I don't think adding to capital to the existing stake, like, I think that does negative value. Unless you're doing something really I can't really find a situation where it's better. You should have just made another stake.
I can present the case,
I think that does
but it's very
negative value.
speculative if you want.
Bring it. I can't really find a situation where it's better.
Okay, so if you have a lot of T points,
I can present the case.
in the future, if you
This is
ever
very
have a
speculative.
system built around Icosa the same way that Icosa and Hedron is built around the T-share and Hex,
Okay, so if you have a lot of
you're
T
minting
points,
Hedron based on the T-share, right?
in the future,
so
if you ever have a system built around
if you have a
Icosa the
system
same
where
way
you can
that
only
Icosa
mint
and
that new
Hedron is built
coin
around the
based
T-share and
on
Hex, okay, so if
the
you have a lot of
you're minting
T
T points that you have,
T-share, right?
and then
So
because you would have a higher amount of
if you have
T
a system
points
where you can only mint that
in the new
coin
system, you could
based
have a
on
bonus tier. So, for example, let's say you have 10 T points, right? 10 T points would give you 5% extra bonus in that new coin. 20 T points would give you 10% bonus in that new coin. And you would only be able to acquire these bonuses if you have high amounts of T points in one stake, for example. Bonus in that new coin. 20 T points would give you 10% bonus in that new coin. And you would only be able to acquire these bonuses if you have high amounts of T points.
Wow,
in one
that's a
stake.
really
So the-
long.
So the question is, does that outweigh the possible benefits that you can acquire in the current game? I don't think so. But is it a possibility that such a system can exist?
So the question is, does that outweigh the possible benefits that you can acquire in the current game? I don't think so. But is
Yo,
it a
Sloth,
possibility that such a system
we got
can
Maxim
exist?
and Sloth here.
Sure.
Any of you guys want to add?
The question is, does that outweigh the possible benefits?
I haven't been in here in a while, and I like hearing. I feel like the average
Joe Sloth,
education
we got
level of this
Maxim
group
and
is
Sloth here.
raising.
Any of you guys wanna
It's
add?
cool. I like what I'm hearing
here
here in a while, and I like hearing. I feel like the average
Nah, everything Mike talks
education
about is
level of
crazy
this
talk.
group
I don't
is
know what you're talking
raising.
about, Maxim.
It's cool. I
He's
like what I'm
playing the
hearing
game,
here in a
dude.
while, and I
He's
like
playing the
hearing. I
game.
feel like the average
Nah, everything Mike talks
education
about.
level
Nah,
of
but
this group
yeah,
is
I just like to
raising.
pop in and listen every once in a while. I don't got too much to add tonight. Just
He's
getting
playing
some
the
work
game,
done.
dude. He's playing the game.
Yeah, good stuff so far. Everything Mike talks about. Nah, but yeah, I
I
just like to pop
I
in
like
and
the
listen every
excitement
once in a
too.
while. I don't got too much to
I think
add
it's.
tonight. Just
I've been out of it. I
getting
don't
some
know if
work
it's been
done.
quiet or not, but
Yeah,
it sounds
good
like
stuff
people
so
are
far.
excited. That's cool.
Nah, but yeah, I
I
just like to pop
I
in.
like
Hope
the
you've been well,
excitement too.
Maxim. Haven't seen you in a little bit.
I think it's.
Just
Yeah, man. I
getting
don't know
some
if
work
it's
done.
been quiet or not, but it's the new year and it's cool. Exciting things ahead. I think. I like
Hope
the
you've been well,
excitement too.
Maxim. Haven't seen you in a little bit.
I think it's. Yeah, man. I don't know if it's been quiet or not, but it's the new year and it's cool. Exciting things ahead. I
I
think.
think a lot of us were gathering because, like, with the way that the game is played now, we had some changes to the rule book in a sense, and it's like I think it makes it more interesting. To be real, this makes things with the way that the game like this is awesome. But we have to start waiting for the next set of events to happen. I think it makes it, and I think like the 120,000 watts of burn with I think it was like 6,000 or 6 billion points the other day. Those types of things are just the small, like 1,000 watts of burn. Those were the side quests. Like those were the side rewards. Those things aren't. It's not the main quest line where all the exciting stuff happens. The exciting stuff is where if we don't see the EES bomb that I think so, it will start happening later. But like, man, the yield is going to be so retarded if we don't see compounding. But Alex mentioned that Icosa pool is going to be really interesting to watch. But like, man, the yield is going to be so retarded. This is the time where it's most compounding. In my opinion, likely to happen just because of the amount of yield you've earned compared to the amount of Icosa that you staked versus the share rate difference. And also we have a share rate ratchet, I think, coming up soon, like a hard one. That also goes into the effect of this. Like maybe people start EESing in the Icosa pool because of yield, but also because of the share rate, like a hard one. That also goes into the effect of this. Like maybe people start
Yeah,
EESing
if we start to see the Godwell do consistent 45-day stakes, like that wallet is just gonna ratchet up the t-shirt rate like really, really quickly. If you go on hexfire.io, you can there's literally an arrow pointing to just a straight vertical line. That wallet is just gonna see how high it goes up t-shirt rate like really, but the Godwell, the amount of staking, it's big enough to trigger the whole straight vertical the way the t-shirt rate goes up, which is like how high does a t-shirt rate need to go up so that you can't restake the same amount for the same amount of time to get the same number of shares. The way the t-shirt, and so pretty much the Godwell is able to ratchet that up if it keeps doing 45-day stakes for the same amount of time over time. Or if it even does longer stakes, like by a day or two, to get the same share rate, the same number of shares, and that's just going to increase the speed by which the Icosa inflation decreases. So that's something I didn't expect to see, or that you couldn't have predicted to see. But as the T-share rate ratchets it up quickly because large players are now doing these short stakes to accumulate yield on a shorter time frame in terms of hex, that's gonna just squeeze the bottleneck of yield for all of the Icosa pools and all the Hedron, all this hex stakes to produce Hedron going on in the future. Although all Hedron inflation going from new stakes is insignificant already. So it's less impactful on the Hedron inflation, but it's very impactful on the Icosa inflation. All Hedron inflation going from new stakes
Is there any theories on why the God Whale is doing this?
On the Hedron inflation,
It sounds like you kind of explained a potential theory. Obviously, by creating a big shorter stake, he's ratcheting up the T-share rate, and like I wonder why he would. Is that why he did it? To intentionally stake, and does he have a specific reason in mind for doing that? Like I wonder why.
If I had to take a guess, it's probably he's just leaving money on the table if he's not staking, right? I think that's kind of like the Occam's razor answer. He has so many coins. If he's not, these 30-day stakes are yielding him probably hundreds of thousands of dollars of valuation in tokens, even though he couldn't exit all of them. Like, he has so many coins because he would just be crashing the price. He is losing out on increased valuation of his tokens by not staking tokens, even doing like rolling 30-day, 45-day stakes. So that's probably the most probable explanation. I don't know how like Giga Brain Whale, the God Whale, is in terms of like manipulating. Its behavior is more of a stake and chill, don't pay attention to it kind of thing. So I would lean more towards. I would lean away from like complicated strategies, but like that'd be pretty cool if we got evidence that it was doing these crazy things to mess with like the Hedron ecosystem.
I like what you're saying. I tend to lean that direction too, without this very complicated master plan. It's rarely the case in my experience. I do like that direction though, that it actually kind of ironically disincentivizes others for doing the same thing. The short stakes don't yield as much. Those people that had long stakes disincentivizes others. Locked in their T-share rate, locked in before the rate hikes, have more to show for it now. And the people that are just rolling their stakes forward, he's if he keeps doing this, even just one time, has made their strategy less effective. And the people that are just rolling their stakes forward,
That's kind of like the catch-22 of hex staking, right? Where it's like longer pays better, but shorter pays quicker. I think Dip Catcher said that not too long ago, and I liked it because it's been something I've been thinking about for a while. Where it's like, longer pays better. The price you pay for getting more yield in hex is illiquidity, and is illiquidity. Now less so with HSIs, but and then the price you pay for short stakes is diminishing returns and kind of like self-sacrificial, where the more you do it, the more you milk the cow, so to speak, the less milk it produces next time. And that's just benefiting the long-term stakers. Where the more you do it, the more you downstream affecting the inflation rates of Hedron and Icosa because they're intimately tied to the T-share rate too. So it's just ratcheting up that disinflationary mechanism where these people have the economic mass to do so and they get to benefit today. You can even think of it this way. They're getting paid by the system to ratchet it up further to benefit the people who've leveraged their time, right? Like the system is paying them out to then benefit the people who are supporting the system on a longer time frame. That's actually kind of a cool way of thinking about it. I never thought about that before. People who've leveraged their time, right? Like the system is paying them out to then benefit the people
it also incentivizes his longer stakes. relative to the new guys.
Thinking about that, I never thought about that. Yeah, that's true because he has a lot. He's like what, $1 billion Hedron for
Yeah,
the max.
it also incentivizes
So he captures all of it. He captures all the benefit, and he just
new guys.
forever separating his position from all new entrants going in the future more so than he already has a max.
It also incentivizes
So he captures all of it. He captures all the benefit, and he just
new guys.
forever separating his position from all new entrants going in the future more so than he already has a max. So he captures all of it. He captures all the benefit.
You know, I've been thinking the one I was about to doubt Richard Hart again, and those were the times that I like actually did lose money in crypto. And like you know, it might have to do something with like the launch of Pulse, maybe. And those were the times that I actually did lose money in crypto. Like I don't know what's going to happen, but like you know, I do see a future where like, dude, the Ethereum side is just going to be like the Asian server. Like it's going to be, it's just a different server, and it's like it might have to do something with that, and like good accounting or something. The good accounting of the Pulse side, because you can't really good account the ETH side. Like it might have something to do with that, and like preventing like short-term stakers from dumping the price just because he's out. Like you know, he has a bigger stack compared to the other short-term stakers.
Yeah, I think it encourages the long game. It wasn't something you could necessarily predict, like Crypto Sloth was saying, but having a stake before, I mean, you can look forward, and it's not the rise in t-shirt rate's not happened yet, so I guess you can still take advantage of that knowledge and stake a long stake now before your money doesn't go as far. But I like that idea of if he keeps this going, it's only, I kind of already said this, but it only creates a better advantage for those that already staked long. Your hex went farther, and it's only speeding up the rate at which that your T-shares are a greater portion of the pool, and you have more to show for it for those long stakers. It's incentivizing the long-term players, I think.
In this ecosystem, the hex is the long game. And I think a lot of these short-term stakers will start figuring it out. But yeah, keep sucking up all those coins so they don't dump them. And you know, your Icosa stakes, man. Like we need to watch what Godwale does. You know, he could do a last minute, like a day before his stake, take a tiny penalty, and then the share rate still moves up. You know, it's gonna be interesting to. I really think that we need to watch that stake and see what happens. He might just restake it again, though. Like he might just end it, restake it, and just keep ratcheting the share rate. But what if he doesn't? You never know with Godwale, dude. He'll throw you off. He'll throw you off.
I will say, seeing those multi-billion point Watsas being burned made my heart very happy, because those were going to suck up a lot of yield going into the future, but not anymore.
Telling you, man, if we have a bigger burn than the last one, you guys are going to look at your Watsas and you're going to wish that you were the one who bought those ones that I just shilled that I wanted. You're going to wish you had those. The like the pool, like the payout got better. Like if it's the same size burn, like the payouts are just going to keep getting better, I think.
Yeah, I think it's okay to pay a premium for Watsos. I will repeat myself as a reminder for everyone that even though the bonuses do not apply to the staking pools, they still apply to the HSIs that are being committed to the contract. So the 10% bonus for Cuatro Cincos, Watsos get a copy of that still.
We aren't seeing a ton of recycling right now, But with all the dolphins from the Hedron pool coming out, we also have to remember some of those guys, they might dump their Icosa and just restake. That's very possible, but they could start playing the HSI game, and like we might see some bidding wars, and then we see the recycling. So I know recycling is down, but like at any point it can start changing, and that affects the payouts of the Wattses, obviously, like Kismet said. But it also affects the Icosa pool really hard because of that borrowable Hedron that is sent to the pool. Very important. You know, we saw some big stakes out there getting recycled and stuff here and there, but like, dude, you could start seeing some huge motherfuckers come in there and just like, you know, some of these Icosa stakes that you made, dude, you could start making like, you know, depending on the size, like you could be making a couple million Hedron a day on some of these stakes. That's ammo to play the game, man. And if Icosa's near ceiling price, like, you know, if you're at 80, 90%, you know, depending on hex price, Hedron price, and all the competition, you know, I think a lot of us might start taking our Hedron to play in the auctions. And remember, like, there were good deals left and right. Everybody was sitting on the sidelines. Most people, obviously, according to the stats, are basically staking their Hedron. They missed out on all those deals, man. They're mouth watering. Like, who knows if they're going to keep the stake or recycle it? I'm whatever about it. Like, you know, I'll press all the buttons. But like, there are some guys who might be like ready to go to start bidding on these auctions, because I did it the first day. God, was it fun? It was fun. And I just didn't want to do it because of gas. So, but you know, let's see what happens, dude. I'm waiting for Paul's chain personally, and then I'm going to spend an entire day just doing auctions. I might be just like an auction, like vampire, just sitting there watching, waiting for that one at 6 a.m. to go for cheap or whatever. Those are going to be good times. By the way, I saw that dude join. His name is Squids Only. What a funny name. What a good play off of Whales Only. Really funny.
Hey guys, hope all okay out there. I'm sure it is after the last day or two. Quick question. I'm not aware of a tool like the Staker app offers, whereby you can put in your address and quickly see what your kind of paper situation is, as far as like how much Hedron Icosa do you own, and different wallets, and it kind of amasses that to current value. Is there any tool out there like that, if you know what I mean?
You can use fatty.io. It's pretty cool. And I think they're going to be updating it. But if you go to fatty, it's PHATTY.io, and then you go to the bundles section, and you can plug in your addresses, and it'll aggregate everything, all your assets on multiple chains. And it's the people that are forking Aave and GMX, Fiat, and Famous.io.
Nice. But that's across is that mainly for the Hedron Icosa sphere, or like everything?
So yeah, Hedron is a part of the site. It looks like. So if you go to the site, you'll see there's different sections. But as far as I know, they are supporting like Hedron and Icosa. So you could see, you know, your coin values. You could see all your hex stakes. You could see your HSIs. As of right now, like I can't see my Hedron or Icosa stakes. But that might be included in the future. I really don't know. But it's a decent aggregator for this type of stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've got so much tied up in stakes. I think that was kind of more my question, like Staker app, obviously, like, can track all of your stakes. And obviously in this day and age, all of us are staking away with Hedron and Icosa. I was just wondering if there's anything that matches Staker like that. I mean, Fatty sounds great, but it doesn't sound quite what I'm asking about.
I see a future where like people are like kind of hungry for a red candle in Icosa. Like I see like being like, secret groups of people being like, yo, you dumping yield? Okay, I'll buy it. Want a compound for that next fucking big burn. Very interesting mechanics here.
I see you've been burning more of your watches recently there, Mike. What's going on? What's going on there? You got bills to pay?
Yeah, dude. Like, didn't you see the post? I got a cocaine and hooker habit to fucking support here.
Just talk them through a wallet, set them up with MetaMask, and transfer the watches directly. You don't have to burn them.
I think it's just like I just see this world like, there are some guys who have a big like ladder, right? And then, like, some of these guys who have a lot of Wattses and whatever, they can just do whatever they want, dude. And they kind of get like a sick, like fucking like pleasure out of it. I think they're just like, just burn it and just keep making my other ones even stronger. But like I really think that you're just gonna see these Wattses just be worth fucking retarded amounts of money. Like, wait till the first Wattsa sells for like $100,000, dude. Like $1 million. Like, dude, there's not enough of them. And dude, like everybody needs these wild cards. They're a piece of the game, bro. Like, and not if you have a Wattsa or you have a couple Wattsas and you're playing the game, you're going to be glad at some point that you have the ones that you have. And you're going to be able to sell it on OpenSea for more than what the yield is worth.
And it's been said before, I think Kismet mentioned it. There was 100 T-share hex stake in the auction that went for 2.5 billion Hedron. So that's not opportunity. And like it all pumps the ecosystem, more people participate. Like I got it for $3,000, 100 T-shares.
I'm gonna wait till my Icosa stakes finish up. See if I have enough Hedron to even bid anything worth anything. A little tough. We'll see. Especially if it's below ceiling price, you like depending on the circumstance, you might be better off selling your Hedron to buy more Icosa. But if we're anywhere near ceiling, then you're pretty much like, if you can get a 10% deal on a fucking stake and get 10% more Icosa, why in the fuck wouldn't you?
Is there any realistic chance that you could see like Godwell enter the auctions and buy up all the?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Dude, Godwell isn't retarded, guys. Like, I know he bought up, but like Godwell has a lot of money. He don't care. Like, but like, you know what Godwell probably isn't? He's probably not a fucking loser, and he probably likes to win. And like, bro, remember like when we were in the auctions and we just saw Paulie like winning all the bids with the orange name and stuff like that? Like everybody was watching that and be like, oh, blah, 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 like what the fuck's happening, bro? Imagine Godwale goes in there and starts buying all those fucking hex stakes, bro. Everybody in hex will be just like, but Icosa's a scam. And it's just like, no, dude, Godwale's playing the game, dude.
When is Godwell's stake coming out? His massive stake.
Day 360 or day 3 like 75 or something. He added capital, so he reset the timer.
What day are we at now?
I don't know. Day 180 is like February 11th or something.
If I were to speculate on what kind of play the Garwell could do, if we are to believe that he's going to go in the HSI auctions and buy the stakes, based on like previous history, he's always acted in good faith. And I think going in and snatching up all the HSIs when you're a player that you know nobody has a chance against you, I don't think that's going to happen outright. But I do think that it will happen. But prior to that happening, something else will happen. So, for example, if he were to go into the HSI auctions and buy, prior to him doing that, he would probably emergency and stake a portion of his stake. And then that way, the people in the staking pools would get compensated in some sort of way. And then on top of that, then he would go in and snatch the majority of the HSI stake. So it's like he's burning a portion of his stack. That burn goes to the staker class. And then at the same time, I mean, I still haven't understood why would there be a reason for him to go to the HSI market? Can you elaborate on that?
So he doesn't have to buy the market
Sorry.
if he wanted Icosa.
I was going to add to that. It's like when day 360 rolls round, how many big enough stakes are like potentially still going to be available? I know they can instantly be sold back to the Icosa contract when they are purchased, but do we really think that in day 360 there's going to be the kind of juicy T-share stakes still being available when his stake is ready and he's got all of that Hedron to play with?
There could be more because we don't know what's going to happen at the burning events. They might be wildly successful. Somebody can pull some tricks. And the more successful the yield looks for the people who are in the stakers, in the staking pool, the more they're going to talk. And it's like marketing. So if there's going to happen an event that none of us in here have predicted yet, that will create an incentive for more people to come in because they hear about the event and it sounds very lucrative. If you're going to have an influx of new people coming in, you're going to have an influx of new HSIs being created. Now, it's impossible to say what that event will be exactly, but each burning event, if it gets bigger and bigger instead of smaller and smaller, we could see more HSIs than we actually started with. The thing is that we want the system to be self-sustaining. And once the seeded liquidity is gone, ideally, the only yield that would be available would be through those HSIs. So we must have a big portion of HSIs being recycled.
And another thing with this is like, at any point, seeded liquidity can be added, but remember, you can add a different factor over this, which is the time. And you can burn it all just for one day and change everyone's habits, or you can spread it over 6 months. There's a lot of different things that can happen.
keep in mind that the Hedron staking pool has this function of when somebody comes in and creates a stake and nukes the stake immediately, half of that gets burned and then transformed into Icosa yield the next day, and half of that goes strictly into the Icosa staking pool. So, for example, let's say the SA or whatever other entity decides to burn, whatever Hedron it burns will only be transformed into Icosa. But what if the next time we're going to see an entity, instead of using the burn function, it's just going to create a stake and nuke it immediately and then disperse like rewards through that method? That's also possible. Again, it's speculation, but it's possible.
Speaking of benevolence, has there been any amazing gestures recently by powers that be on that front, or has it been a bit quiet on the kind of generous burning?
It's been quiet. I think it's for the better, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I just remember there was a little hotspot maybe a couple of months ago where things were happening. I mean, Mike's burning enough Watsons for us all anyway. Like maybe the BA doesn't feel the need to do anything right now.
Dude, I didn't get enough. I didn't mint, bro. I fucked up. I heard NFT and I immediately shut down. It's just my natural Hexagon instinct. I need more. If anybody wants feet pics, willing to pay, I have beautiful feet. So just hit me up in a DM.
Has there been any like chain analysis of on the Watson front? Like, I think maybe Mike, you were kind of alluding to it. Like, some people bought a shit ton of Watsons. Like, what's the kind of chain analysis on like the biggest player who owns the most Watsons and what, like, how big is each, etc. Like, what's the talk out there?
I know that on OpenSea it says 6,000 unique holders. So I haven't seen anything crazy. But like I know Dev Huey with Hex Model had a couple things, but it was like the burning for like if you minted the Watts, you were most likely the one who burnt it. But yeah, it's not like there's like OA or anything of Watts that I've seen.
Is it just me that's kind of shocked as to how many are getting burned on a pretty regular daily basis, and the scale of it as well? Like, it's kind of shocking to me.
It could be an act of benevolence, but like don't underestimate people like selling for a loss or selling their fortunes and burning their future.
I think the reason why I'm kind of like always a bit surprised when Dev Huey's putting out his stats and, you know, I'm seeing the rate that they're burnt and the price that they're burnt for, is that you just kind of feel like everybody in this ecosystem and who gets it, who are there at the beginning enough to be buying Watsons, right? Early days of Icosa, like, you know, I like to think pretty big brain shit, but yet you're seeing these burns and sells at what amounts to me as not big brain shit.
Yeah, dude. we could see a nasty burn one day, man. Like, remember, the average size is 960 million, and I see a lot of penny ones out there. So there's got to be a couple big ones. I should do the analysis on it, but like, I think having a good couple Wattses, bro, don't burn them unless you're going to compound it with like one of your stakes or something. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but like, you're probably better off selling it for a premium and then buying Icosa off the market.
Oh, I'm definitely not thinking about burning or selling any of these things. This is fun at this point. For the long haul on the Watsons, the game of chicken is probably one of the oldest games in the world, and it's been around for long enough for a good reason.
So I picked up a good couple, man. Like, I want to have, I wanted to have a nice couple, so I had different artworks and everything. Like, I'm definitely holding, like, I'm looking at the majority of mine. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to the moon, baby. Now, if I've got one that was like worth $100,000, I'll be real. You guys want to pay $100,000 for one of my JPEGs? I will let you buy one of my Wattses for $100,000.
Is the artwork out already?
Wait, what?
Did you say the Watsons now have artwork attached to them?
No, once they do.
What's the talk on that? When are we going to see that?
Alex said in chat soon, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, nice. Nice and exact. I love it. No
Dude, honestly, like,
expectations.
Watsons are so god tier, they don't even need artwork. That's how good they are.
Totally. If you told me that my Watsons have had artwork attached for the last month, I'd still be like, okay, I'll check it tomorrow. I don't need to see the artwork. I know what they're doing.
All right, boys, I gotta head out. I'm going to go hang out with Koga Bear, my dog. Everybody, meet up. Yield time. Remember, we're. It's bad to be a cult, but like, we all join for yield time as the magic money machine gives us 0.5% yield in a day on a bad day. Woo! So, all right, you guys up later. Peace out. Remember, 2300 to 000 UTC. Join up.
God loves to use that open mic.
Lobster. You here, bro?
He's definitely here.
You got open mic. Nice.
Question. I saw obviously, I'm not checking charts every day, which is a blessing. But I saw that Icosa has been doing great things over the last, 4 days, and Hedron's there too. Am I right though in kind of understanding and thinking that they both pumped before Hex has been pumping? Is that fair, or is it all very much in unison?
It's fair. You saw Icosa pump first, and Hedron, then Hex.
So what do we make of that?
Currently, not too much. It's just what people find the most value in.
Yeah, is it like, because I know they were down, right? Icosa and Hedron, and very. I missed it, but it's fine. To have been picking it up at those lows, do we just kind of feel like maybe? I mean, I'm not talking about like the tail that wagged a dog, but like those in the know could see value and the lows for Icosa and Hedron before basically the bigger affluent hex market. Either which way is very worth, I think, in future, like monitoring when these pumps happen in Icosa and Hedron to see how Hex does seemingly follow suit. So it could be an interesting follow, that one.
Yeah, even though all coins inflate currently, we're in the early stage of the newest thing. It's probably inflating the most aggressively compared to all the people who are in it currently. So, but Hex also inflates pretty well. But when people find opportunities to buy Icosa and stake it, obviously that's what you would do. You wouldn't buy it to hold it liquid unless you have some plan to provide liquidity or whatever, or some other plan. But for the majority of people, if you see a good entrance on Icosa, it's best to stake it immediately so you don't miss out on the yield that occurs every day. And it's been hoovering throughout like a decent price. Since you have the majority of the 90-day stakers, they dumped their yield or they restaked it. You still have some people on the sidelines who haven't ended their stakes, but you could kind of predict that was a decent time to start buying. But you can also predict that once the other auction starts, then you're probably going to see another dump because you can't predict what people are going to do with their accrued yield. So prior to auctions, you're probably going to see the price go up. After auctions, it's probably going to go down again. And you're going to have this rinse and repeat pattern going on until we get rid of the majority of the inflation.
Right. Speaking of like early end staking and stuff, like what's some metrics, like how many people are actually kind of unstaking early from their Hedron and Icosa stakes? Is there any metric on that?
I don't know. I think the majority of people ended it at the time where they would suffer the less penalty possible. But I haven't checked the actual metrics for it.
Yeah, there's part of me that's like slightly surprised. And I'm not in any shape way to talk about it because I don't know how to do it. I'm not a coder. I can't pull that kind of detail off the blockchain and like put it out there for myself, let alone the community. But like when you look at Hex and the amount and depth of charts and sites, go.hex.com, etc., that is basically pulling all of this data off the blockchain, who's unstaked, how many people are early end staking, etc., penalties, blah, 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 that this doesn't exist in, and I may be wrong, but from what I know, doesn't exist in the Icosa sphere. When, like, to me, this community and ecosystem alongside Hex is, the purest of the pure, like, most savvy hexagons out there, yet that kind of crossover doesn't seem to exist somewhere. I'm kind of surprised.
These things will come with time. Currently, we have amazing tools available because of the work of someone like Dev Huey, for example. If you go and use Hex model to its fullest potential, you can acquire a lot of knowledge. And that's, in my opinion, fine enough for the time that Icosa has existed so far. Obviously, these things, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they come a little bit later.
Yeah, fair comment. And yeah, like you say, what we're like 180 days in or whatever it is. I get that. I just, I think my point's valid. At the same time, I'm kind of surprised it's not crazy like that. Like when you look at like I don't know if I'm allowed to even say it, but like Zen, like their kind of tools are off the chart. And obviously Hex is and I just maybe this community is just that small and like early and ahead of the game that the amount of ability within the community to make all of these tools is just not there, which is understandable too. But yeah, shout out to Dev Huey, he's amazing.